Ciao a tutti, it's Aram, and today we are going to be talking about why I feel like in the current meta, Hat with Scythe is the best artifact Traptrix deck, and frankly, probably the best deck in the format right now. And well, that is partly because right now the format is not as diverse as it was like a year ago, and as it probably will be in a year. A lot of people are just playing Artifact Traptrix and Gilgas. And when that is the playing field, and not a lot of people are playing combo, not a lot of Murmurs, not a lot of spellbooks, um, I feel like Artifact Traptrix with hands and Scythe is the best build. We're going to be looking at a few replays, a lot of them by Wizkalina, where it shows the strength of Scythe because it's really a new development in the format. Um, but before we get into it, remember to subscribe for every subscriber. Ice Hand will get uh, hit by the bank. I don't know. But yeah, so basically, the two most played decks are Girgas and Artifact Traptrix. And, Girgas are gaining a lot by the fact that nobody's really playing spellbooks. There's a few Merle players. Um, but I feel like that is about to change. And Hat is a lot better poised if that does change mid event, like if a new event comes up and a lot of people are playing varied decks. Hat is like more versatile in that regard. Um, but why Hat over Cat? First off, first reason is well, Hat is just as just a much better matchup versus Cat versus Artifact Traffics and Girgas compared to Cat. Meanwhile, Cat has a better matchup versus almost every other deck. Um, the reason for that is like, for one, the hands are very strong into artifacts, but also they are decent into Girgias, while Cardcar is decent into artifacts because you bait artifacts, and usually in a cat mirror match, baiting the opponent's artifacts is how you win. But for Girgias, they started the main deck in the shit out of Breakthrough Skill, and getting hit by Breakthrough Skill on Cardcar versus Girgias is pretty much just game ending right there. Um, there's also the fact that hands can counter hands. So if Gilgas are playing hands, then hands can kind of counter that because fire hand. If fire hand dies and you hit another hand, it makes them miss timing because it destroys then special summons. So the destruction is not the last thing to happen. But why Scythe is making a not really a comeback, it's just new, is like, for the longest time I've been an advocate for not playing Scythe. New people come in and all the time and go like, hey, why is no one playing Scythe? Well, it's because like 90% of the time Moral Attack is just stronger. And like, yeah, 90% of the time in Artifact Traptrix, Moral Attack is just stronger. Um, Especially if there's more decks, then if the format is more varied. Um, And I've not been against this playing site in other decks. Like it's good in Constellars, it's good in Cyber Dragon. Uh, it's very strong in Jurak Artifact, which I've played and top with this tournament. It's currently in top 8. I don't know where I will end up with the deck, but site is very crucial in the deck. But it took a long time for even me to realize that site, and but I was late to the trend because there's like during the 10th anniversary tournament, like 6 people played Artifact Traptrix with Scythe. But the reason is like, even in Artifact Traptrix that doesn't really take advantage of Scythe by winning on the next turn a lot of the time, the 10% is very relevant. And why did nobody play more Scythe before? It's mainly because like there's a lot of situations where like there's 2 level 4 monsters and you just summon more attack, and that's just straight up better than Scythe. Um, like normal summon Dionia, for example. But in the 10% scenario where mainly like soul charge, that's the main thing that set is very strong at countering. Not always, but a lot of the time depends on kind of the matchup. But if they don't have ways to break your board even without the extra deck, Scythe is very strong in that situation, and having that option available to you um, is just very strong. Even if sometimes Scythe is not the greatest card in the world, you know. Um, but yeah, like the main thing is kind of versatility. It's versatility. And the other thing is like the card is just a lot better than Moral Attack versus Gyugyas. Not like it makes your matchup good, but it makes it more salvageable. You know, it's probably one of the best counters to Gyurgia Gear in the format. Especially if you're playing Jurak Artifact. I think there's some replays about that later on. But yeah, the fact that you actually stop their turn, even if they do keep on ramping up, is better than just like giving them in wedgie with more attack. Not even a wedgie. Like how do you say when you put a foot under someone who's walking and they fall? That but they don't really fall. They just stumble a little bit and then they punch your ass. They kick your ass. That's kind of how it feels to activate moral attack versus Gyugyas most of the time. It's just not doing a whole lot. That sucks because that's kind of your main win condition. Uh, but yeah, like now about how often it didn't see a lot of play. In that replay, I also showed like why hands are pretty good. Well, what are the other strengths of hands compared to Cardcar? Why hands? The thing is, like, Cardcar is basically giving you more artifacts and more hand traps. That's kind of the thing. So you're obviously stronger into combo because of hand traps, and you're stronger into normal summon reliant deck because artifacts. But you are obviously, but the hands also give you more versatility in the fact that you have hands which are another weak condition compared to Karkar, and they don't get countered by breakthrough skill as much. Even and Cat obviously has its strengths even compared to hands in those matchups. Like with Cat, you can overside. With Hat, you really can't unless you just set out the hands, which is not the best idea usually. But I'm not enough of a hat player. The deck hat to know whether there's matchups where you just want to side out the hands. But yeah, that also does bode badly for evil swarms in the format. Evil swarms kind of hate hands, so. And also great keepers. That's kind of unfortunate, but yeah. The other strengths of the hands is that, like, with Cat, your rank for access is quite limited. With the hands, it's a lot more common to just go into rank 4s by just normal summoning hands. And also, the hands do fuel your soul charge quite a lot. Makes uh, your soul charge plays usually a lot stronger than in Cat, because in Hat it's more often than that you will have a strong soul charge in the mid game. With Cat, it's only really very strong in the late game. So there's also that. Um, I'm not sure whether that makes a difference or not in whether you want to side out soul charge versus Gyrias. I do I do that in Cat. I don't know whether that's the correct play in Hat, but maybe it is. Um, but why am I showing so many Wizkalina replays? Well, the thing is, like, going into in depth into his replays is something that I will do in another video probably. I've got his like, I have asked him if it's fine, but and he's fine with it. But the thing is, like, um, Wizkalina has been topping consistently and is not a very strong player. these replays are fine. There's replays where he's plays totally fine, and there's other replays where I'm like, what are you doing? Um, and I feel like he's kind of carried by by him playing pretty much the best deck, which is Han Artifact Traptrix with Scythe. Um, so that's kind of part of the thing that it's part of why I realized that Hat is the best deck right now, or if not the best deck, is better than Cat. Um, I do think that when Mermels players come back and Spellbook players come back, then Cat will be better. But for now, I feel like Cat is better, and it's been kind of interesting to see that. Um, you know, I'm gonna let this match finish, but this it's kind of showing how strong the hands are, really. But actually, I'm getting kind of bored. Um, let's see. I've got all the data on Scythe. Uh, I didn't actually filter between main deck and side deck, but we can kind of see the trends. There's a few people that played it in before the Hut Alliance era, in the format library days. Um, and then in 2022, it saw some play. Let's see. We've got this X right here. So we've got mainly not artifact artifacts. Have Madolche artifacts, Ghost Trick artifacts, Cyber Dragon artifacts, Ninja artifacts, uh, Fat also, and artifact hands without Artrix, Inzectors. For the most part, it wasn't played in artifact Artrix, and then in 2023, it really was just a Constellar thing. You know, mostly just saw it in Constellars. Then there was a Destiny Hero deck with it, kind of weird. Madolche artifacts, and just Raminator with the lone artifact Artrix deck in 2023 with Scythe, and I don't even know if it's main deck or side deck, but you can see it really exploded in 2024, um, especially in artifact Artrix, and you see it in Constellars, you see it in Cyber Dragon, Counter Fury, I guess, Destiny Hero again. But the main thing is like Artifact Tropics started to play it in 2024. I don't know if that is interesting to you as it is to me, but it is interesting to me. But if we go on format library and let me just log in, I feel like we reached a bit of a tipping point with Scythe in the 10th anniversary tournament. We've got with Galena topping. Um, then we have Falco, that's two. Tiger Soldier, that's three. Both strong players. Um, and one is on Wizen is on hat, Falco is on hat, Tiger Soldier is on cat with Cory Bandit. It's kind of his spice, and my mouse is kind of spazzing out. Then we got hat Marufuji here. Uh, Sleepy with Plant Artifact Tropics and Scythe. So that's five. And where is it? Yeah, I remember there's six somewhere. There we go. Hoy with six. And Mr. Fluffy with seven. On Cardcar Artifact Tropics. And this is kind of just an Artifact Chaos list. So, there's seven main deck Scythes in this tournament. Probably even more in the side deck. Um, Let me see. Because there's Constellars too. I played it boss player, and I probably copied my list. So Surprised it wasn't played in the Cyber Dragon lists, because I feel like that card is very strong in there. Definitely better than Big Attack in my opinion. But yeah. Um, so that's kind of, if you've seen my video on the 10th anniversary, I was really confused, but I've come around to the card. And speaking of Vizgalina, if we look at the deck, uh, you know I'm not entirely sure whether this is the best. I don't think this is the best build of the deck, but I do think that the hands artifact trappers with sight, this kind of list is kind of the best build. And you don't even entirely disagree with his main deck choices. I'm actually playing a similar list in the play this payout tournament, and it's not too different. At least the main deck is it's only 3 cards off. So like, yeah. So yeah, that's all I got to say. If you like, join the Discord, subscribe, ring the bell, do good shit. I do coach, and yeah, goodbye.